was really pretty.
It was very pretty. So very, very pretty. I know you didn't hit the record button already.
I did. We're already recording.
I wanted an anecdote to start this thing with, and now I gotta scramble.
I think I'm really bummed I missed your your song.
What song?
The one that I said was really pretty.
Oh, my
I hit record hoping I would catch
foreign gibberish language?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just jump right into
We're
it.
in. Do it.
Relax.
Do your thing.
You need some water.
No, I don't. My voice sounds fine.
It sounds like you're thirsty, man. Peace and blessings, kings and queens. My name is Jaquan Davis.
And I am Nicholas Fletcher.
And welcome to another episode of... My head started to get really hot, so I tried some cold water, but it didn't do nothing.
It's from Napoleon Dynamite, right?
Absolutely. This is the Young Old Heads podcast, the hip-hop-centric podcast where we talk about a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing. How are you doing today, my good friend?
Actually, a pretty good day today.
Pretty good, right? Nice and chill. It's gloomy outside, rain. This is a nice, chill day, bro. Nice, lazy type of day.
And I'll say it because last week we talked about my gallbladder surgery, and I feel much better compared to then. So
wonderful, man. I am going with the flow, bro. This week was a little bit rough at work. They're probably tired of hearing me talk about work on here, but so a couple of guys at my job actually got laid off, man. It saddens me.
That shit,
you know, because it's just sucks to see that. One of them's a really good dude, but you know he doesn't have that much experience at our job, so they let him go, unfortunately, and then they cut back our hours, so I'm not even getting 40 hours a week, man. Down to 32 hours a week, but on the bright side, next week I will be taking a trip up to Bill, Wyoming again, and I'll get a full 40 hours up there, so looking forward to that kind of.
And on that note, now's probably a good time to announce your OnlyFans that you're starting.
Oh, yeah, my OnlyFans, yeah. You'll see me eating a lot of snacks.
That's all you do.
Just snacks and cleaning my apartment. Oh, gosh. There might be a FAP session here and there, but I'll just...
just every once in a while?
Every once in a while, but I'm mostly depressed, so sometimes it doesn't get all the way up, so I just... Okay.
Subscribe now, and you can watch me binge watch.
You can watch me with the binge watch, looking for a scene. That's how it'd be for me, too, just trying to find a good scene. Yeah. You know, so I'm just standing there on hard, like... Just searching for a good scene. My OnlyFans, yeah. Maybe you might be onto something, man. But yeah, so today is April 24th. Yesterday, the Mortal Kombat movie premiered. Myself and Nick here went and watched the movie together. And spoiler alert for anybody who is listening, we are going to put a timestamp in the description so you can skip ahead if you plan on watching the movie.
That's a good idea.
So you could have just kept it quiet. You made it sound like we had this planned. I honestly just thought of that.
Well, good job.
But yeah, so we went and seen it, and we'll spend a little bit of time here breaking it down. Nicholas, what did you think?
So I'm just going to give my initial reaction, and I thought it was great. I left satisfied. I mean, obviously. So Jay and I, we went, my wife was with us, and she found it hilarious because we were both like audibly gasping and clapping at parts.
Yes.
So I was very satisfied. Coming from somebody who actually likes the lore, has played the games for the past, 2 decades. Mm-hmm. So I think they did it justice. Now, of course, there's going to be like things I think could have been done differently or I thought were strange, but for me, solid review.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing, man. Oh gosh, it was so dope. And Kano. If you're not familiar with Kano, anybody who knows the Mortal Kombat franchise, you know that he's a wisecracking kind of anything for himself type of character. He was the highlight of the movie. Oh, yeah, hilarious, man. Just funny.
Who would have thought Kano would steal the show?
Honestly. So, that and the fight scenes were incredible. I was a little skeptical about the new character they introduced in this. A guy named, I think his name was Cole Young.
Yeah, Cole Young.
So we had even talked when we saw the trailer, like, what's this about? But I think they were trying to make a new character that was relatable, and tell a different story, and then but also incorporate, a lot of origin stories within that story. Mm-hmm. So I think it was well done. I actually started to like Cole. Like,
so did I. I think he's a cool character.
He's a good character.
I hope to see him in some games, but
I'm not sure I understand his abilities though.
Yeah, me either. So I will say that with the whole Cole aspect, I think the reason it was implemented was because one, to tell a more like modern Mortal Kombat story.
Yeah, because they insinuated the whole thing with Scorpion and Sub-Zero was thousands of years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So a more
hundreds.
Yeah, a more modern one, and also I think that a big part of it was to for people who've played the game. So we had the original Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That told the story of Liu Kang, Sonya, and Johnny Cage. And then we had the first two movies that came out back in the 90s that told that story. And then we had MK9 that retold that story.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably the director being like, man, hardcore fans have seen that exact rendition so many times.
So they definitely...
Like, how can I revamp it?
Right. They definitely revamped it and rearranged some things. Such as... Sub-Zero, if you're listening to this part, I hope you've seen the movie. Sub-Zero is a straight up villain in this movie.
Yeah.
And
which, again, was surprising.
It was surprising because if you follow the games and even, he even had a standalone game where he was the protagonist. Mm-hmm. Mythologies. I'm not sure if you remember that one. I do remember. But, yeah, he's an absolute villain and a dick, bro. Like, he comes looking for Cole and is making like this ice storm and shit. Like, fucking shit up.
Yeah, like no, he don't care about civilians.
Not at all. Didn't give a damn about nobody.
Even the intro to the movie, again, spoiler alert, major spoilers. But at the beginning of the movie, he and his clan. Murder
the Lin Kuei,
the Lin Kuei murder all of Scorpion's like family and village and all that stuff, like, and ruthlessly,
absolutely,
like, violently,
just brutal. So yeah, he was absolutely aligned with Shang Tsung in there. Like, there's no question. Like, it's not even like, oh, he's neutral. Like,
exactly, no, he was straight up.
He was on the side of
Shang
evil.
Tsung even referred to him as one of his warriors.
Yeah, so that's interesting. That'll be interesting to see because usually it was. Sub-Zero was a hero. Scorpion kind of went for his own thing, whichever benefited him at the time. But yeah, it seems like Scorpion's more on the side of good on here.
And that's that you bring up is the like parallel to that is that Scorpion is actually, they play him out to be a legit like good guy in this.
Yes,
like, he seems like the good guy in
and there's movie. A part where he reemerges, and it's so dope the way they did it.
Oh, man. Yeah. Bro. That was one of those parts in theaters where we just...
That was so dope. Here. But I will say, I think me and you were both a little disappointed because we seen smoke billowing out of the vents in one part.
And both of us.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, that's got to be Smoke. Yeah. The character Smoke. But no... It had nothing to do with him. And I was like, man, why would y'all could have used something else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even just a different color.
It was legitimately smoke. It was,
like
you could have used like a green mist or anything.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but that was...
To have a character synonymous with smoke and then have smoke in the movie and just not put it in.
Yeah, man, it's weird.
One of the things I didn't like is Reptile. I didn't really like
Reptile. They made Reptile like a straight up lizard beast thing.
Yeah, I was not a fan.
And I mean, it was cool to see him in there because he is like, I would definitely feel like he's a top 10 character for me.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah,
but I like the humanoid version of him.
Yeah, I like the hybrid, the one where it's like
where he like he's got like lizard skin, but he looks like he's like built like a man.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that version of him is my favorite. But yeah, they just went
which we might see.
That's possible.
We might see
because he does have the ability to present himself as a human. Yeah, so yeah, that was interesting. And then there's a few deaths in the movie that I thought were premature. Yeah, if you're listening to this, we're just gonna throw some stuff out there.
It's too late.
It's too late. If
you haven't seen it and you have not stopped listening at this point,
we gotta remember that timestamp, man. Yeah. But Yeah. So Melina dies, Goro dies, Kung Lao.
Yeah.
That hurt my
Which I
feelings.
saw coming because in the original Mortal Kombat, I'm pretty sure Kung Lao's death is what motivates Liu Kang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think that
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember that part, but that absolutely might be the case. But yeah, it might be a thing too, where like in I don't know if you remember in MK9, where I think it was Quan Chi, either Quan Chi or Shang Tsung. He took the dead versions of all those guys and like made them work for him.
yeah, yeah,
Like so, made them like revenants or whatever.
yeah, that's what they're called.
But yeah, so there could be something more with that. And then Mortal Kombat dying really doesn't mean all that much. Anybody
That's
who's
yeah,
followed the franchise, like
because Johnny Cage has died in the games and
several
resurrected.
times.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat 5, Deadly Alliance, and Liu Kang died, and it was like a big deal. And then they had a zombie version of him, and they retcon stuff. So there's always several different timelines in Mortal Kombat.
that's another thing. So I've seen some people who have their comments have been like they maybe don't think it's faithful to the lore of the game. But when you really look at Mortal Kombat, they've retconned so much.
Yeah.
Like the time we looked up how Jax lost his arms, and
Yeah,
it was
there
like,
was-
oh, in one version he loses them like to Goro ripping
Yeah.
him off, and then in one version Quan Chi like
Yeah.
rips him off or
And
whatever.
another one, Ermac.
Yeah,
does.
Ermac did it. Yeah, so I think that Mortal Kombat is loose enough at times that they can just be like, yeah, no, this is
Yeah. Like I feel like for me, knowing the story, the only thing that threw me off was the symbols.
Yeah.
The birth. What did they call them again? I forget what they called it.
I don't know. It was basic, but whatever it is, it looks like a scar.
Yeah, that's like the Mortal Kombat symbol.
And it tells them like this person's worthy of.
Yeah, they're
fighting in Mortal
chosen or whatever. But so that's like the only thing that really kind of had me like, what are we doing with this? But I think your theory on that makes sense to why everybody has these incredible.
Yeah, so everybody listening that has seen the movie or is interested, my theory is in the movie there's this thing called Arcana, and it's anybody who's worthy with and has this like birthmark, their Arcana is their power. So Liu Kang shoots fireballs, that's his Arcana, and Kano shoots his laser beam out of his eye, that's his Arcana. And some people I've seen, a guy in particular on Facebook today, we had a debate about it. He thought it was stupid. He's like, that's dumb. Why would they add Arcana? But my thought was, and I could be wrong, I don't think in the games they ever explain why these characters have superhuman abilities.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
man.
from what I'm aware of. So in a movie like this, I feel like they had to explain it because if I was watching a movie with mortals from Earth going to like Netherrealm to fight, and all of a sudden Sonya blasts lasers out of her arms, I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah,
why?
how did you get the ability to do that?
Yeah, so I think the Arcana was them just trying to explain, like, oh, this is why, like, this guy shoots fire, and this is why this person can do this, and
so I think for me there was a few parts that I was like, why they do it like that? But overall, man, like in all the Easter eggs and references to characters that weren't in the movie, and then I'm sure you remember the part where they said what's his name? Cole defeated the champion Eddie Tobias.
Oh yeah, okay, that was a cool reference.
Which is cool because the creators of the original game are Ed Boon and John Tobias, who also Noob Saibot is named after the two of those guys with their names in reverse. So I thought that was kind of a cool little thing. And then you see different artifacts from different characters in the background.
Yeah, like the medallion.
Yeah,
we saw Katana's fans.
Yep.
I think. And
yeah, so there's so much they can do, man. I'm just excited to see where it goes from here. But I feel like with a franchise that has so many diehard fans like Mortal Kombat, you're gonna get that skepticism and criticism.
Well, and that's just anything.
It's anything. If you got a strong fan base, it's gonna get critiqued to hell.
And some people just like to hate things that are popular.
They do.
They just want to not like it because people
if you
do
think
like
about it, this movie had kind of a lot working against it because the things we just mentioned, and then think about how few video game adaptations into movies
actually do
are are well done. I mean, and do well. But it was a phenomenal movie. Anybody thinking about checking it out, I say do it.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're not, it might. I don't know. It might not hit the same if you're not familiar with the Mortal Kombat franchise.
Yeah.
But if you know a little bit, if you know Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and kind of know their story, it's still a good watch,
Yeah.
So
Well, and even if you know like some again like the setup, so like how we know about like Noob and like his backstory.
Yes.
When you see that setup in the movie, like for fans like us, like the casual like person watching would be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But like we know the setup, so when something specific happens, we're like, oh, like that's it.
Also, for those, if you have seen the movie but you don't know the story, so Sub-Zero did die in the movie, but this is one thing that canonically has always been the case. So there's two versions of Sub-Zero. The original one gets killed by Scorpion. His name was Bi-Han. His younger brother, Kuai Lang, then assumes the identity of Sub-Zero. Well, Bi-Han is resurrected by who did we?
Quan Chi.
Was it Quan Chi? Quan Chi. I always forget. I want to say it was Quan Chi, but I'm not 100%. Okay. But either Quan Chi or Shang Tsung, one of the two of them resurrect him into what becomes Noob Saibot. So in the sequel, we're more than likely going to at least, I would imagine, probably see him surface towards the end.
Yeah, because Shang Tsung specifically says at the end of the movie, when they're like, we killed all your fighters, and he's like, death is merely another portal, and then he like zaps all the dead fighters back to like Outworld.
Yep.
And you're like, well, like.
Yeah, man. And oh gosh, it was
the
great.
thing I was most surprised about, legitimately, which I'm not complaining about whatsoever, it just makes me more hyped for the next one. So major spoiler alert, again, if you're still here.
We ain't even got to say it no more. We done said it like 5 times. But you're still listening.
The thing that really surprised me was that, so the whole centric thing of Mortal Kombat is the realms have a war, like the winner. And like what really surprised me is in this movie, it wasn't the actual Mortal Kombat.
No.
It's setting up the actual tournament.
Before the tournament.
It's setting up the tournament. We didn't even see the tournament.
Nope.
This was setting up the tournament, which was pretty cool. But when we got to like where I could tell in the theater, it had been like an hour into the movie and they were still like training and stuff, I was like, there's no way we're fitting a tournament into this movie. Which makes sense because that would have been really hard to pull off like a really epic, cool tournament with all these epic fights, but also give backstory to Sonya, Jax, Cole, like all these different characters. Yeah. So I think this one was just all that like exposition for all these characters for us.
Absolutely, man. They did a great job. So this apparently is going to establish a universe for Mortal Kombat, and I am so excited, man.
Yeah, I agree.
It was very well done. If they keep the quality at this level and up, hey, man, they can't go wrong.
I think it's funny because I keep seeing articles that are like, if it does well, it's going to be a cinematic universe. No. And it's like the hottest topic right now in media.
See, the thing was, man, I knew even if it was a terrible movie, I knew it was going to do well because people have been wanting another movie for a long time. Like, I remember back in, 2010, seeing a fan... I'll show you once we get done recording. I seen a fan-made trailer that actually looked pretty dope. But I was excited. Like, if it looks like that, that'd be dope. But obviously, that never came to fruition. But I knew even if it was a terrible movie, people were going to check it out even just to be like, oh, yeah, it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. So. I will say my favorite setup of all, though, had to be the Johnny Cage setup.
Yeah.
Because I told you this before the movie. I was super bummed that he wasn't in the movie. When they announced the cast and the trailer came out and I didn't see him, super bummed because I love Johnny Cage. I think Kano kind of filled his role because Johnny Cage, in the sense of like Johnny Cage is the comedic relief.
Yeah,
like he's the one-liner guy.
It'd be great to see. So Kano died too, though, but it would be great to see banter between the two.
But the way that Kano died, I have a feeling he will be back in the sequel with the actual cybernetic eye.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because she stabbed him through the eye, so he will probably be back with his cybernetic eye.
Crazy man.
But yeah, so great movie, guys.
Phenomenal.
I mean, I feel like if we don't stop soon, the whole podcast will turn into a Mortal Kombat conversation. So
wrap it up here. Phenomenal movie. If you like Mortal Kombat, check it out. 2 thumbs up in honor of the late Roger Ebert.
Yes.
He died like 10 years ago.
You know what's funny? We were watching together the one where the other day where it was doing the unknown facts about the original Mortal Kombat movie, and it was Roger Ebert who was like, "Oh, it wasn't violent enough."
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that crazy?
How surprising that he was like, he gave it a bad review because he's like, not violent.
There wasn't enough gore for me.
And if anybody was bummed that the last movies were PG-13 and didn't have gore, this one makes up for it tenfold.
Yeah, there's a few fatalities too, so be prepared.
Yeah, some pretty gnarly ones, like Kung Lao specifically.
Oh man, yes. Kung Lao and Jax. That's all I'll say.
Yes, yeah, Jax was gnarly as well. So, okay, so for the next topic, we are going to discuss.
Disgust.
We're gonna discuss.
I'm not gonna discuss this.
We're gonna talk about backhanded compliments.
Backhanded compliment.
I think we've all received them. So
yes, we actually have. Like, you're not bad looking for a tall, lanky dude. You know, you're handsome for a tall, lanky dude.
Yes.
The worst one I think I ever received, man. So I remember being at Denny's with these girls. And it was after a night at the bar. I was with some of my friends, and one of them I thought was very attractive, but she's quite a bit taller than me. For those who don't know, I'm not very tall. I'm only 6'2".
Barely.
But she's taller. We were like flirting and stuff. I'm like, oh, we might something. Because me personally, man, if I'm attracted to a girl, I don't care if she's taller than me, but I know some women don't like that, and I understand and respect it. So it's whatever. But I'm like, oh, maybe I got a shot flirting with her and stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, so what's up? You should give me your number, blah, blah, blah. This girl patted me on my head, Nick, and said, oh, you're cute, but no. Bro.
What a shot to the ego.
It hurts so. Even just thinking about it just now hurts internally.
You're cute, but no.
Yeah, and like the pat on the head was just like, I don't know. I guess I don't even know if that's quite a backhanded compliment, but
I feel like it kind of is.
Because you think so? Is it qualified? Because I was just like, ego. Yeah. I had to go take a shot after that, but yeah, man, that shit right there hurt my feelings. Yeah. Or this hasn't happened to me, but I've just seen things like this online in different threads on Reddit. Which with Reddit you got to kind of take with a grain of salt. But it was a black man talking to a white girl. I think they were on some dating app, but. She says, "Oh wow, you're really intelligent and well spoken for a black guy." Blah blah blah. Like, yo, that's a
racist backhanded compliment.
Like, you fucking he flamed her nah, you bitch. What the fuck wrong with? He didn't. He like flamed her, but like very tactfully. Yes. So
that's my favorite way to flame somebody.
Absolutely, man. There is no better way. Like anybody can call somebody bitches.
Oh yeah, because I have two modes. Like if I'm just feeling ignorant on like the internet, I'll just say some ignorant shit. Yeah. But otherwise, I love taking somebody who's just being stupid and very tactfully and like just very like articulating my point into like being like, you are incorrect because of this reason.
Yeah, I like doing the same thing. Like I find myself on Instagram more than anything, getting in the comments and. Like I'll say something jokingly and somebody, like, you know, it's always weird to see how people misinterpret stuff you say, and like they'll like you give them an inch, they take a mile and like just jump to this astronomical conclusion that like all from like 7 words you said.
Yes.
So I'm just like, that's crazy, and then I've had to flame a few people online myself, but.
So for me, I don't think I have any specific memories of getting a backhanded compliment that like stood out to me, but I know for a fact I've gotten many throughout my life. Those, like you said, the ones that they say something and you are really standing there trying to like analyze the comment, like wait, am I mad or am I?
Yeah, like oh, thanks.
yeah, one of those like
thanks with a question mark. Thanks.
Well, actually, here's one I get a lot. This is probably the most common I get. So, is a Wyoming musician, especially a rapper, somebody who's never heard my music before. It'll be like a show, or maybe I'll post like a video or a song online, and I'll get a comment or somebody to show in person. Well, like, oh, you're pretty good for a white guy from Wyoming.
Wow.
Like, and again, where it's like, first off, pretty good is always to me, this, just telling this to everybody now, I hate the term pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know why it offends me.
You know what I hate is I heard a motherfucker say pretty okay. oh, it's pretty okay. I'm like, that's barely a description.
It's pretty okay.
It's pretty okay.
Because okay is already just like baseline, and then pretty okay, so it's less than okay.
Like, what? It's not even completely okay.
Yeah,
like it's
pretty okay.
Mostly.
I'm on the fence about this okay.
Yeah, but the fence.
Yeah, those ones I've seen. I've also witnessed ones that'll like in the moment you don't the person saying it like from an outside perspective you're like, no, what are you doing? But they'll say something to somebody in the context of maybe a female, and they'll go, oh, you look like pretty good for a girl who's had 3 kids or something like that.
Yeah, that's so bogus, man. That's so. Or I'll see in that same vein, like I'll see maybe an older celebrity that I grew up being a fan of, and they still look good, and somebody will get in the comment, oh, look, she looks really good for her age, or she's beautiful for her age. It's like, yo, she's beautiful regardless.
Exactly.
It's weird.
I don't know.
Why would you not even think like how that sounds?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like an American cultural thing, but I think that age with anything for whatever reason we interpret it as like less beautiful, like less relevant, less talented. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time. I've seen that specific comment so many times.
Yeah, or even, oh, she's pretty for a big girl, or she's pretty for a girl with such dark skin, or something like that.
Anything.
And I'm just like, it's so bogus. Like you didn't type that out, read it, and think about how it sounds. Like, 'cause I'm very critical in what I put out there, even like messaging you. If we're talking about something, or posting a comment, like I really read it back and make sure it makes sense. And sometimes I might delete a part, like, oh, that might come off this way. Let me reword it, And a lot of people, I guess, just don't, that part of their brain, they just either don't care or, they're assholes. I don't know. But I don't like it, man. Like, it's so weird. They talk about age, and I'm like, there's a few women I follow on Instagram with gray hair, naturally gray hair, 50s, in their 50s, and these women are beautiful, bro. Like, it's beautiful for any age. Like, I don't see it as, she looks good she looks good to be 53. Like, oh, she just looks good, so I don't get it.
Yeah. One that my mom actually recently told me, so like I hope she doesn't care that I tell this story, but she told me that it stuck out with her really like just prominently in her life because it bothered her that much. But back in the day, when she was really young, she got a job at KFC back when she was like a teenager, and it was the first KFC here in town. And when she got her job, she applied, they hired her, but when she showed up, it was a thing where you didn't really know what you were getting hired for until you like got there. Like it was like, because it was the grand opening kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And when she got there, I guess the manager looked at my mom and said, you're sort of attractive, you can work the front.
Wow.
And said, you're sort of attractive.
How disrespectful.
Yeah,
you're sort of.
Yeah, what an ignorant.
Why did you even need to say the first part?
Exactly.
At all?
Like literally.
You could just we'll have you working in the front. Like, why did he even think that was acceptable to say? Like, I would never, man. But I mean, obviously that was a different time where you say something like that these days. You'd be
a manager saying that to somebody.
You might. And if you
all right, here is my 2-week notice. Go ahead and this is my letter of resignation. No, which that's what's like it kind of falls out of the conversation of backwards compliments, but that's what sucks about when it comes to compliments in general and like insults. I don't know if you're like this, but I'm one of those guys where I could get 50 compliments. Somebody could tell me 50 times, like, man, you're a cool dude, and you're attractive, and you're cool, and you're talented, and whatever.
Yeah.
But like one person could like talk shit to me, and like
you
say
suck.
something that you could tell, could like, oh, like you're like, yeah, and that's the one that'll bother me.
That sticks with you more,
and that's what sucks is because my mom's the same way. Like I got that from her, but
it sucks that I don't know how you combat that, but I get it because in a lot of scenarios, just like that little bit of negativity will overpower all that positivity. And it's I think it's a mental thing, man.
Oh,
like
100%,
so.
So, Today is supposed to be my random fact day.
Okay, before we get into that though, let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, our listeners, we would love if you would. We want to hear from you. We would love if you get in the comment section and let us know some of the backhanded compliments you have gotten, or you have witnessed, or some of the worst ones you've heard. We'd absolutely love to hear from you.
Or even give us some. Give
me a backhanded compliment or something.
Tell
me how I always talk over Nick.
You're attractive for being pretty ugly.
Thanks.
That's like the most, that's the most vague. The most vague.
You're attractive for an ugly guy.
Yeah. It's like the Mortal Kombat review we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
It was he said it wasn't good, but it was okay.
It was no good, but okay. Like it doesn't even make sense. All right, so we were moving on to our next segment. You want to?
Oh,
yeah,
I'm introducing
goofball. Yeah, you were just doing that.
Okay. So it is my week for the random fact, but I think that we don't have to be so strict about that.
Why not?
I didn't have one. Not any. I could find one easily, but I feel like if I search last minute, they're not sincere. And you said you have one.
Yeah, I just learned something today that I wanted to share. Random fact. Okay, so so this is a widely shared opinion. Suge Knight's kind of an asshole, right? Like,
yeah, I think he's notoriously known
kind of a dick,
like
right?
Pretty awful human being.
So I don't know if I ever told you, but so I've just finding out some of the things he did after everybody left. Mm-hmm. After Pac died, Dre left, Snoop left. Like, so Death Row was still rolling. They just weren't successful. Yeah. So I just found out today. Okay, first of all, before I get into what the actual random fact is, so people who don't know, during this time period, Suge Knight was locked up, but he was still running Death Row Records. And he put out, you're familiar with Dr. Dre's album, The Chronic 2001, right?
I think
okay.
Is, yeah.
Do you know why it was called? It came out in 1999, but do you know why it was called The Chronic 2001?
I actually don't.
Because Suge Knight actually put out a project called The Chronic 2000 with some unreleased Dr. Dre songs on there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's not even, I'm still not even to the random fact yet. Just a little anecdote. I guess I could have saved that for the future. You might, since you didn't know that. Yeah. He also did something maybe a year or two later that was also pretty greasy. So Snoop had an album come out, I believe it was the year 2000. Suge Knight put out an album shortly before this album of Snoop's. Mm-hmm. And it had a picture of Snoop in like the jail overalls. Uh-huh. And it was called Dead Man Walking.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It was the album called?
It was an album of Snoop's music that, because he couldn't take the music he had made with Death Row when he parted.
So he owned
Same thing with
Dre.
The
masters.
Yeah, so yep, he put that out.
Really?
I will show you these things, bro.
That is savage.
Okay, but the actual...
Still not the random fact?
No.
Oh, man.
The actual
like 9 random facts in one.
This might be our first hip-hop related one,
I think it might be. Yeah. This is like the inception of random facts. It's a random fact.
Okay, this is the actual random fact, though. Suge Knight had a Tupac and Snoop Dogg clone. He had clones of Tupac and Snoop Dogg. The Tupac clone was called The Realest, and the Snoop Dogg clone was called Top Dog. And I will show you, man. He tried to recreate the magic. He had them rapping like Snoop and Tupac.
Oh, okay. All right. So
and he was trying to recreate the magic. Like, I think he thought that their sound, something similar to their sound with the presence of Death Row behind them would maybe recreate the same thing. But no, bro, it's like Snoop and Pac are two beloved individuals. It's them that people love. Yeah. So he tried to do that. Both the guys failed miserably. Top Dog has a song called Cinderfella, which ironically, or coincidentally rather, came out shortly after Snoop put out a song called Cinderfella, like a week. I think the album came out a week after Snoop's, or a week before Snoop's. But in the video, I'll show you, man. We're gonna have to sit and watch a few videos so you can see. But he's saying something about, oh no, it ain't Snoop Dogg, it's Top Dog, and he comes out dressed like Snoop. Snoop is signed to No Limit Records at this time, so he broke away from Death Row. He comes out dressed like Snoop with a No Limit chain on and a No Limit shirt, and then like it gets like snatched off, and then he has on the Death Row chain and something else. But yeah, man,
Suge Knight really went hard with his beats, man.
He tried to recreate Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and it's such
That's corny. That is corny.
Yeah, 97, Death Row was on fire from 92 till about, or maybe even 91 till 96, and then 97 through 99.
You know, and ironically, Death Row wouldn't have been Death Row without Dre, Snoop, and Pac.
Yeah.
Like
they had a lot of talent still, but, you know, hey, those guys were like the... Yeah. You know, the head honchos.
Is Death Row even around anymore? Like, is
it? As far as I'm aware of, no. Because they, so 97 to 99 were terrible years for them financially, success-wise. And then when Suge got out of prison, he tried to rebuild Death Row, remarket it as the Row Records, because that was a little more family-friendly. Mm-hmm. And actually, that's where I first saw Crooked Eye, King Crooked.
Okay, yeah, he was signed. He used to be Death Row, yeah.
He was signed to them, and then Lisa Left Eye Lopez, may she rest in peace, from TLC, she was a part of that too, but it didn't really go nowhere. But yeah, man, isn't it crazy how far Suge Knight would go, man? Wow.
It's like, I think we talked about it. I don't know if it was on the cast, but I know we've personally talked about the whole Vanilla Ice story.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Shook him down and like we're gonna hang him over a
straight up the boogeyman, bro. Yeah. Like, he's just wild. Yeah. And then got on public display, man. But yeah, I'll show you these dudes, and you'll be like, wow, he really tried to recapture the magic that was Snoop and Tupac.
So a perfect segue into the next topic is, can you separate the artist from the music?
I think it depends on... I can't even say that. I feel like for me, in some cases, yes. In some cases, no.
I agree. I think it depends on how...
I was going to say the severity, but that would... I feel like I'm going to say something that's going to contradict that, because... I might get roasted to oblivion for this, but I still like R. Kelly's music.
Yeah, that's the first thing that popped in my head.
I absolutely, his music is phenomenal. I don't know. I think I've dialed back some songs, you know, of him, but for the most part, like stuff he wrote and produced that I know he wrote and produced, I still listen to. Yeah, because I think it's phenomenal. But I definitely wouldn't check out nothing new. But, you know, I watched the documentaries, Surviving R. Kelly and all that, and I absolutely, in my heart of hearts, feel like that man is guilty of what he's been accused of. But the music, bro, he's a musical genius, but a trash person. And I think that's where I'm able to separate the two. Like, I like the artist that is R. Kelly, but
not the person.
But the human being that is Robert Kelly is garbage.
And I think that he is probably like one of the shining examples of this topic. Yeah. Because like you said, iconic when it comes to R&B. Oh, king. Man. Like when he's one of the kings of R&B, you know, just
he's written so talented. And
but in the same vein, disgusting behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just it's unspeakable. We're not going to dive into details, but if you're curious to learn more, they got a few documentaries about him on Netflix, I believe, Prime as well. But yeah, you can learn all you need to know there. But I don't think a lot of people, oh, he didn't do that, this is a conspiracy. It's like, no, he did that. I just think he was so successful, and you know, money talks. Mm-hmm. And he was so successful and so rich at the time, like he was paying people to keep their mouths shut or cooperate or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But although he's a musical genius, R. Kelly isn't a very smart man. And I don't think he did great business deals, so I don't think he's as rich as he should be.
Well, I also think he probably got away with a lot in the past because it was a different time. Yeah. Like back then, I feel like even back then it could have been well known in the music industry. He was doing that stuff, and it was just like hush hush, like
Well, I mean, there was the whole thing with Aaliyah. Like he married her when she was 15.
Yeah,
and he was like 27 or something.
So I think that he just as time progressed, and obviously like the Me Too movement became really prominent.
Yeah,
that I just assumed that a lot of the people who were like victimized by him were finally like this thing.
Yeah, I will say when I was like 14, I saw a snippet of a video, one of the ones that had allegedly leaked. I don't know if the girl was the one that was underage, but I can say without a shadow of a doubt that was R. Kelly in that damn video. Like it ain't no question. You see his face. And he was, I ain't even gonna say what he was doing, but
I think most people that from our generation know.
But it was a bit much, but yeah. Let me think of it. Is there anybody like a guy like Chris Brown? Let's say the whole thing with Rihanna thing. Yeah. I don't know. I was. It's weird because it seems like certain officers, certain artists. Well, I was thinking about somebody else I can talk about, and so the word officer popped into my head. Rick Ross.
Okay.
But no, I think certain artists, it's like they go through something crazy like that, and then they get better. They almost reemerge better. Like that whole situation was despicable. There is no justifying.
And I think that I'm totally for now, depending on the severity of whatever heinous thing that they did. But I'm the guy that if it's redeemable, I'm all for that artist having a comeback. Yeah, I'm all for them taking their L and publicly coming out and apologizing and like going and doing some mental work and then reemerging like a better thing. Like I will totally support that. But you do have the scenarios where there is some cases where you're like, kind of hard to forgive you on that one.
It is hard to forgive him, but I will say, like, although he has been in trouble over the years, he absolutely has, he has apologized, and on top of that, like, him and Rihanna rekindled their relationship for a short while. And, it ultimately didn't work out, obviously. But the thing with R. Kelly is, like, he won't never admit to nothing. Like, he's just like, did you see that interview a couple years ago? He's freaking out.
Yeah, where he's crying on
I don't know how to hog tie people. It's like, man, I gave y'all 30 years of my career. I was like, man, the world's smallest violin, bro.
Yeah.
And then there's Rick Ross, who, he's the way he raps, he talks about being like this drug dealing, cocaine
he was a probation,
boss.
Wasn't he? Yeah, a corrections officer. Which 50 roasted
he got
him
exposed.
Which that's funny we said which at the exact same time.
Jinx!
There's no problem with being a correction officer, more power to you, but to like lead those two very separate lives.
And to say like just be talking the way he was, and well, who knows, he could have been a crooked ass cop.
That's true,
So
he's one that I respect Rick Ross.
I do too, absolutely.
I think his is that's a pretty light one.
Yeah, it's not on the level of either of the others we talked about, but I agree. Like it didn't. I was just kind of looking at him like, really, man, because you had me believe in this persona.
Yeah.
But then he came out with Mafia Music, that song where he's just like rapping for 2 minutes straight or 3 minutes straight, and he murdered that beat, bro. Dope song, and I was like, all right, I forgive you.
Another one is Tory Lanez.
Oh, the whole thing. See, and the whole thing with Meg Thee Stallion, I never really was much of a fan of Tory Lanez to begin with. Like I had heard a couple projects that I thought, and some songs that I thought were decent, but I wasn't a fan of his. So, and also like that whole story still has not come out because allegedly he had shot her in the foot, but it's like we don't know for sure.
But he's like not in jail right now or anything, is he?
I think he did get arrested briefly, but I don't think he's currently no.
Yeah, no.
But I don't know that the full story with that ever came out, and it's just the little bits and pieces we've gotten. It's like, what the hell happened? Like, so I don't.
And he's one that I'll say on a level I'm not a big enough fan to care.
Yeah, same. Like it was pretty crazy to hear it initially, but I didn't follow it. I mean, some of the blogs I follow did talk about it, but I didn't, I was just like, oh, it looks like this, but we don't.
Yeah, the
know
only
what
thing
happened.
it was something about like an altercation in a car where he ended up shooting her in the foot.
Yeah, something like that.
But even like the circumstances were like very like hazy, were like on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
was he drunk?
And it's weird because like she had a wound like on the side of her foot, and it's like, how you shoot somebody in the? I don't know. I guess you could, but yeah. Yeah. So I don't give a damn about Tory Lanez, honestly, bro. Like if he can go or. He actually, I will say, one thing I do appreciate about him is he samples a lot of music we grew up on.
Mm.
Like he did a remake of, you remember the song I'm Sprung by T-Pain?
Yeah.
He did a remake of that. He did a remake of a couple Pretty Ricky songs and some other stuff. So
him and Joyner Lucas had a back and forth, and it was Tory's responses were pretty dope.
Yeah, I remember that. No, he's absolutely talented, but I don't know. For me, it's like certain artists, I got to hear a song that like pulls me in for me to become a fan. So I never heard that one from him, but he is talented. There's no question in that. But.
So I think just we're both going to agree that I feel like I can separate the artist from the music depending on how.
Depending on the severity, I think I'm pretty much there. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much on the same boat. But what about that artist? I don't think either of us care about him. But there was a guy named Houston back in the day, an R&B singer. His biggest claim to fame was a hit he had with Nate Dogg called "I Like That." If I play it for you, I guarantee you, I remember this song. And I guess I don't know the full story, but I guess he like got high on some wild drugs, went crazy, and like tried to pull his own eye out. Tried to like scoop his own eye out.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then there's another artist.
Is he still around? Like, is this guy? Like...
I don't think he's doing music, but another artist called Big Lurch, and so he was part of the horrorcore subgenre of hip hop, and he got high on PCP one day, went to his home where his roommate's girlfriend was, and I guess he murdered her, like ripped her chest open.
Jesus.
And like was like
NSFW radio guys.
Ripped her chest open, and he was like chewing on her internal organs. Like they found him walking down the street naked, covered in blood, and like chewing on something. Was he high? Yeah, he was high on the PCP, like just in a daze. We caught him naked walking down the street, and he was chewing on something, and he had like taken a bite out of her lung. And
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, man, it was wild.
So yeah, I think
that something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
There ain't nothing.
Like
to talk about.
you could be the dopest artist in the world and do that, and it'd be like, well, delete him from history.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. He
delete
never
that
existed.
nasty, foul human being.
Yeah. So but there's a lot of people saying they think it was some kind of setup, but I'm like, If he had her flesh in his mouth or in his,
and that's foul. Again, there's like the level. Like when we started this, I felt like the R. Kelly thing was like, look how drastic this is. That's a whole 7 steps ahead of that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's stuff we are forgetting. So, ladies and gentlemen, get in the comments section and let us know some artists that if you can separate the artist from the music, or certain artists who you can separate from their music. If there's only a few you can do, like you take like Elvis was dating underage girls. What's the one guy, the dude from who was it? One of them old singers. I think it was the dude from Aerosmith. Was dating a really young girl back in the day.
And there was a celebrity who ended up marrying his stepdaughter.
I believe that was Woody Allen.
Yeah, Woody Allen. Yes, things like that. So I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be like musicians. It can be any like
entertainer.
Celebrity.
Can you separate the entertainer from whatever form of art or media they partake in? But yeah, so let us know what you think, peoples. We want your interactions.
And sorry that Jay went ultra dark there.
I'm sorry. Oh, did it disturb you?
He's talking about
maybe I should start an alternate horror podcast.
Talking about PCP zombies.
Yeah, maybe I'll do my own thing on the side and tell chilling stories in the dark.
So,
oh my God.
So you might have done just now what our next topic is.
What is that?
If there's anybody out there who has ever listening who might have a crush on Jay, but after hearing his horrific description of those things, now doesn't have a crush on him, that's our next topic.
I just said some factual stuff. Damn, bro. Like, if you don't like me because I told you a story.
Well, no, I don't like you for a lot of other reasons.
Okay, well, that's fine, bitch. No, so the next topic, you said we're going to discuss what, sir? I think I cut you off.
We're going to discuss something a crush has done. So anytime that you've had a crush and that crush has done something that has made you lose interest.
Okay. So I have a couple little ones I can tell. So I used to work at a local convenience store, and I was newly single. This girl who used to come in all the time, who I thought was really cute, we got to talk, and I let her know that I had recently become single. She gave me her number, like, oh, there's a party tonight, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, cool, yeah, I end up going to the party. Well, I wasn't the only male she invited. She invited three other dudes. Bro, I was in there for a hot 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, yeah, I got to get going. Such and such happened. Never again. But I think about that. That's another one I think about, and it makes me cringe.
What's funny is I was about to say what a foul thing to do, and what sucks is that's something I did in the past to a couple females.
Really?
Yeah, it was just
it's not even just the fact, like, she didn't just invite me on, like, some platonic stuff. Like, she was flirting with me all this. So I thought we had something, something going on. But
yeah, my scenario is very similar, where I had a few different girls that I wasn't serious with any of them, but it was obviously like a flirty, like potentially romantic relationship could take place with any of them.
Yes.
And it was a scenario where we were doing like a hangout night, me and the guys, and like an idiot, I don't know if I did it at the time to show off, but I invited all three of them over. And did it as kind of like a Hail Mary of like, which one's going to come over tonight? And all of them were like, yeah, cool, what time? And I just didn't damage control it. I was just like, cool, come over. And it was horribly awkward. It was terrible, bad idea. None of them really liked me much afterwards.
I'm sure they didn't. That's funny. So one thing a girl said, I was seeing this young lady. She was stunning, bro. Flawless, beautiful, head to toe, flawless. And but I noticed she couldn't really hold a conversation if we weren't talking about her. But what really set it off for me, it was summertime, and she was having a barbecue and invited me over. I'm like, cool, this would be a nice little time, whatever. And so I am somewhat what you call sapiosexual. You know what that is?
No.
You're attracted to intelligence.
Okay.
So I'm, that's one of the biggest things for me. Like a girl who I can have a deep intellectual conversation with. You're in there,
Take notes, ladies.
Shut up, man. But so we're talking. I'm like, hey, what time should I come through? To the barbecue. You want me to help you set up? She's like, oh, there's not too much setup that needs to be done. I already got the steak serenading. This girl said serenading, Nick.
I just literally picture her just singing to her steak. I'm already on it, man.
I got the steak serenading. I was like, oh God, no. And that was kind of I hung out for a little bit, but that was like the last straw after that, because there had been several other things leading up to that.
I was gonna say, if that was it,
no, there was several other. I just feel like that was it. That was the nail in the coffin. But there was several other things she said, and then actually another thing. One time she was like, I was like, we were joking around with each other, and she said something to me. And I'm like, oh, well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? And she sits there for a second. She's like, but I'm not black. Oh gosh. Ma'am, could you excuse yourself, please?
So one of mine would be, so back in the day, I'm talking to this girl, and I go to her house to hang out, and one thing leads to another, and we end up hooking up. Okay.
Yeah.
So the deed itself happens, and after we're done, we're laying there talking, and as we're talking, I don't know, I can't remember why she brought it up, But she's like, yeah. She goes, how many people, like, girls have you been with? And I was like, I don't know offhand. Like, that's a weird question to ask, like, right after we hooked up. And she goes, you're my 37th.
What?
Yeah. She like.
How old were you at this time?
So at this time, so mind you guys, so I'm 32. I have been with my wife for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So this was probably, I would say, I was around the ballpark of 19, 20-ish. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I was like 19, 20.
That's so weird to just throw out there.
Yeah,
so
mind you, and she was the same age as me. So by that age, and here's the thing, I'm not knocking that. If you, I'm one of those people. I'm totally up for
being sexually liberated.
Yeah.
Like,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you? But what a strange thing to say right after
like you
the
don't
act.
you don't know what people are comfortable with talking
That
about.
was my thought. She didn't tell me before we slept together. You know, it's just
like it's cool if you want to know but if somebody doesn't ask you, don't just throw
I didn't ask. She asked me, and I was like,
exactly.
I don't know the number.
That's what I mean. Like,
and then she told me 37. And I was like, whoa. Like,
whoa.
I'm going to use that little nugget of information.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying I'm a slut maker.
No, there's a lot of those before me.
There's already. You're the next in a long line of slut makers.
A lineage of slut makers. No, but yeah, so I will say, to be fair, we ended up still like remaining kind of like a romantic relationship afterwards and hung out and stuff. But it was just in the time, it was something that I was like, what? Like, why would you?
Yeah, like I might have been more comfortable not knowing. Like, why would you just throw that on me? Like,
So
I hate when people give you information. You're like, I don't want.
Yeah, I could have totally gone my whole life without that. I did not need to know.
I've literally been in scenarios where I've said, like, it's not my business. That ain't none of my business. A girl was trying to tell me about some other dude she was with and how he couldn't last and all this. That ain't my business. That ain't my business. That ain't my business. Bro, I said it 5 times and she continued to. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't care. I don't want to know.
Stop.
I didn't ask you about none of this.
Yeah.
Oh, he couldn't even stay hard for this and that. Ma'am, I don't.
Please, stop.
Please, this is not my concern.
No. Yeah, other scenarios I think would be maybe in the past. For me, I will say it's harder to recollect just because I have been with my wife for so long. But like some like kind of vague memories I have would be a situation where pretty similar to yours. Where I would hang out with a girl that I had a crush on, and when we hung out, we just had no intellectual chemistry.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you, I like to have like sit there and be able to have like these deep talks and like those nights where you just like lay in bed and just talk forever, or even hang out and like don't even watch a show. You just sit there and talk. And just you like have this person you have a really big crush on, and then you get alone with them, and you have like as you're with them, it's just dawning on you. They're like, I don't like you.
Oh,
I actually don't like you.
Your personality's horrible.
Yes. So.
I remember one time. This was a long time. It's almost 10 years ago now. But another girl. It was weird how we met too. I've never had this happen before, but she came up to me in the bar and told me how she had a crush on me since high school and all this and thought I was so handsome and stuff. And I'm like, I vaguely remember seeing you in school, blah, blah, blah. So we get to talking. We hook up, and then like a week goes by, and I see her out in the bar again, and we're in I guess, talking, but it's not like nothing serious, at least not as far as I was concerned. And it's been like a little over a week at this point. Well, I was dancing with another girl this night. Me and the girl finished dancing, and this other girl who I'd been talking to comes up and loses her shit. Oh, motherfucker, what the fuck wrong with you? How dare you disrespect me? Blah, 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 this, that, the third. Hollering, bro. Hollering at me, and I'm just standing there like with my arms folded, like, you for real? Oh yeah, what the fuck wrong with you? Who you think I am? Some dumb bitch you could disrespect? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, man, she was going off on me, but I was just like, what? Like, I just feel like was somebody flipping out on you like that in public? Let's be clear. I don't do the public quarrels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let alone if you weren't like a legitimate item already.
Exactly.
Like, that's even
exactly.
like,
we had hung out twice at this point, bro. And so it's like it's one thing if you to pull me to the side like, hey, I don't like that, or you know,
or like, hey, what's going on?
Like you come at me with something respectful. I'm at the very least gonna try to see it from your perspective. But she just jumped out the window with the aggression. Oh, motherfucker! I was like, oh gosh, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I think the like I said, I don't do the public quarrels. Like if I'm dating somebody, you ain't gonna see us arguing in public. I'm shutting that shit down quick.
Yeah.
Like that's not happening.
Yeah, I'm not.
Cause it just feel like it's embarrassing and it's tasteless.
And also like it's really like selfish to like the people around you.
Exactly.
Because, like that's a horror. We've probably both been in people listening been in scenarios where like you have a couple that you know that fight in front of you and it's like the most awkward.
Oh
like,
gosh,
you could cut the tension with a knife kind of situation.
I feel like it shows self-control if you can wait till you're in an environment where you know it's just the two of you and you know you can deal with it like civil adults. Obviously, sometimes arguments are gonna get a little rough, but you know.
That goes.
But yeah, get in the comments section and let us know something a crush or what have you did or said that turned you off. I'm curious to hear what our listeners have been through.
I will say another one that I remember is there was a girl that I was really into at one point, and she had really bad breath, and so a big turnoff for me is bad smells.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Bad smells, and in the context of like outside of anything natural, but like something you could prevent or manage in some facet. I like bad breath or like really bad body odor.
Yeah.
To a degree of where this is like lack of self-care.
Yeah.
Like you can tell.
Like
if
you catch somebody on a bad day. Or
exactly.
You know, she was just playing volleyball or something.
Or if you guys like were dating and she stays at night and wakes up and kisses you and have
morning breath.
That's a whole nother scenario. Yeah. But I'm talking, when I say bad breath, it was notorious. It wasn't just like it wasn't an isolated incident. It was the common like where it's like, yo, like either brush your teeth or put in a breath mint, please.
Hey, I'm bored. Let's go brush our teeth.
You know what?
Like that meme.
You know what?
So I just remembered something else a girl had told me that really had me like, I don't think this is gonna work. She basically said she doesn't worry, in so many words, she worded it different. I can't remember exactly how she worded it, but I can tell you what I got out of it. Basically said in so many words, she don't stress her hygiene and like shaving and stuff that much because she knows if she wants to sleep with a guy, like that stuff don't really matter. It's going to happen whether she's well kept or not. And I was just like,
So and here's my perspective on that. I'm totally fine with that. Make your own decisions, but you also can't be one of those people who is offended if somebody's not interested in
exactly.
that. Because just for me, and mind you, out of my control, it just happens to be something that truly like steers me away. I don't like it, and I can't control that. So, and I'm even one of those people where a big movement right now, which I'm totally for, is there'll be females who don't want to like shave their armpits, and to each their own. Yeah. But I'm one of those guys. I don't care. Where I'm like, cool, like have hairy armpits. I don't care. But there's also a difference between like having hairy armpits and like for instance, dudes, we have hairy armpits, and I don't let mine smell bad. I put my deodorant on and I shower and I'm hygienic, you know, like so. And of course, like we said, it's gonna happen. You're gonna have BO, but I'm talking if it becomes like one of your something you're known for. If it's something that people are like, oh, that person don't smell very good, you know. Like, I don't.
Like here comes such and such. They don't smell very good.
Here comes Stinky. That's always been one of my turnoffs.
Here comes Rancid Richard. Plug your nose.
Smelly Shelly.
Oh gosh. That's crazy. But yeah, that one turned me off. And the thing is, the girl, like, she had said that, and then down there, she didn't smell so well. So I was like, oh.
No, so it's like,
so you didn't even care to freshen up before you came to see me. Like, well, come on now. That's disrespectful. Like, I just feel like any person, you're going to freshen up before you go and see somebody.
And again, to each their own, because like if you're somebody who's just like, oh, all natural, like no deodorant, no nothing.
That's cool, but cool. I don't want to be a part of that.
Exactly.
More power to you. I don't think you're less of a person. You just ain't nobody I want to deal with. I like women who smell good, bro.
I've always been.
You know, come over here smelling like lavender kisses and stuff. There's always something
like ocean breeze.
It's always something crazy. Cocoa butter sky. Always something wild like that, man. Yeah. So.
Again, in the comments, if there's any specific scenarios or stories that you guys have of people, crushes who have said or done things that you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, just let us know. I'm curious to hear what people been through. Also, if there's any subject matter you might want to hear our thoughts on, just let us know, man. That comment section is open. And also, we want to hear from the people.
Send those backward compliments. We'll take them.
Yeah, tell me I'm handsome for a short guy. Tell you got a great personality for a short guy.
Short people got no.
Oh, I'm glad you did that. Real quick before we
remix.
Before we wrap up, I actually found out there is context to that song.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So essentially, the gentleman Randy Newman, he was saying it from a bigoted person's perspective. Oh. And I guess later on in the song, he kind of, counteracts it like, no, everybody matters.
Okay.
So they're actually, I had only heard part of that song, but listening to the whole thing, there actually is some context that makes it make sense. And it's actually, it's not his views. He's speaking from the perspective of a douchebag, basically.
All right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. All right, well, we are at the closing of this episode.
Episode 13, Nick. We're doing crazy, this thing.
Episode 13, which is funny because we've recorded more than 13.
Yeah, we absolutely.
We never released.
Yeah, we probably recorded like 20.
We put in some work, bro.
Yes, we have, man. And we're keeping the ball rolling.
Okay, so with that being said, this is the Young Old Heads podcast. This is a semi-hip-hop centric podcast where we talk a little bit about everything and a lot about nothing.
I love it.
So I am Nicholas Fletcher.
And I'm Sexton Hardcastle. I'm Jaquan Davis.
So you guys have a wonderful night. Remember, if you're struggling out there, be strong, reach out. Communicate, be beautiful, remember your spirit.
Moisturize your skin and drink a lot of water.
Bye.
Love you.